Okay, so good evening. So today we will see about files, directories, and paths in Python, which is a very important concept. Okay, so good evening again. So today we will be seeing files, directories, and paths in Python. So how we will be handling files, and how we will be creating directories, and what are the different types of paths, like absolute path and relative paths. Uh, so this is one of the most important concepts in Python, because when we are trying to write any logs, or try to get some kind of to read some data from text files, or from any kind of PDF files, or any books, so like, or any binary files as well. So we will be having different kinds of approach. So let's see. So generally in file handling there will be three types. Like, one is like, we have to open the file, and then we need to read the file, and we need to write the file. So for that we are having three different functions. These are default functions in Python. So when you are install the Python, it will come automatically. You don't need to install any other modules. So generally when we open uh, call this function, and if you see here, uh, it take two parameters. One is like, what is the name of the file we need to open, and then what is the mode in which we need to open. So for example, if we are trying to open this file, like for example myfile.txt, then we will be calling this function, open function, and we will be giving this the mode, in which mode it should open. Like, for example, if we give R, then it will open read only modes. Even if you don't give this mode R, it will open only in a read only mode. But when we want to write any file to output, then we need to specify this W, then it will open in write mode. So similarly for different types of approaches, like X mode, like append, already exclusive creation, like, and append. So if you want to create, there is already available file, and if you want to append uh, thus for the same file without deleting the context before contents before, then we will be using append. Otherwise, what happens when you open for write again the same file, it will delete all the contents. So we need to very careful when we are using the modes. So it's like a B is like binary kind of images, like binary mode. When we are reading images like uh, kind of file, then we will be opening it in a binary mode. So when we give, it's like both read and write operations. This is like when we want to edit something, we will be using this operation. So it will be multiple ways we can have. So these are the like input reading and writing files official documentation, where we can see. So first of all, we are using open. So then we go to reading. So once we open the file, we need to read the contents, right? So it's like, if you use, there are three methods again in content. If you want to read the whole data in the file as a one string, we will be using this read method. But if you want to read only single line, so it's like, it will read only first line. If you specify some number, it will go to that line and read only that line. So again, if it is like read lines, it will read all the lines, like all the lines in form of strings, and it will store it in form of a list of strings. So like in the list it will be line 1, line 2, line 3 or something like that it will store in a list. So we can access with the index operator which line if you want. So it's like once we store it all the lines, then we can get like lines of 0, it will give the first line. Lines of 1, it will give the second line, like something like that. So similarly, writing files, then again, if you want to write the data into the file, so for example, we are using the open function, and then we are using in the write mode we are opening. So similarly, we are using write function like hello world, and then there are two types of methods again like write lines. So it's like if we are given the list, so this is line 2, this is line 3. So it will write similar. So for example, I just uh, this for reading, if we open like this, it will fail because the file should be already available, created. But when we are trying to create like write a new file, it will automatically create. We don't need to do anything. So let's go back here. Uh, so language Python and just save as file demo.py. So now just I'm running this. So it has executed successfully, but it should create a new file.txt where this file is available. It will create that location. So for example, we will be going where we have created that our demo file. Okay, sorry. Okay, it will create at the this file. Okay, at from which location we are running in command prompt. If we are running from this location, it will create at this location. So if I edit this file, so it is writing lines, but it has written in the same line. Uh, so we need to check. Let me just check whether the write lines function is working fine or not. Just I'm going back. It has executed successfully again. Just created. Mm, it is not creating in the new line, so we need to check why it is not creating in the new line. Maybe they have removed it. Okay, we need to use append method for that. Okay. So because we are using a write method, so it is like it is directly considering it as a one kind of sentence. So if we try to do again, so instead of doing append, let's see how it's deleting this. Okay, then it got created. Okay, now it should write. No, it is not writing in the new line. Okay, but somehow it is not working as of now. Uh, Generally, it should write in new line. Okay, we will check later. Uh, okay, I will come back on this. So somehow it is not working this function. Uh, so generally it will be at second line and then it will be at third line. But it is writing in only single lines. So that we need to check. So generally, if we write, it will automatically write again. And again, if I am trying to open a read mode without creating any text file, then it will obviously throw me error. There is no file found error. Yeah. So it's saying no file found. So yeah, that's the actually difference between read and write. Write will automatically create whatever we have given, but write will obviously read will obviously want already created file. So again going back. So it's like a read lines. Again, we have come here. Then if we go back, so we need to close the file when we are writing it. Otherwise, when we are trying to open the same file again without closing, then it results in an error. Like it says the file is already in use. So once we want to write a file and then we need to close it and then to read it again we need to use that function like file.close and then we need to open the file with the read. Without closing it may result in error. Generally there won't be any errors, but sometimes if we are opening many files then it will tell like. So the best way to read and write is like with keyword. So generally we don't use these functions with like open, close, or read lines and write we will be using. But by in Python in maximum of the time we will be using and this operation. So with using only with keyword we will be using like with open, and then we will be using a file name, whatever we have did, like whether it is a read mode or a write mode, then as object. Then after we do like a dot read lines or a dot write. So whatever the code we want to work with, we will be writing inside this with condition. Because why we are using this, it will automatically close once we do the all the operations. So it's not like when we are trying to access the same file, uh, it won't allow, and the exceptions are will be minimum. So it's like so that's why we will be using mainly this kind of syntax whenever create an file or want to do the any file handling operations. So similarly, then we have multiple paths. So we need to know about what are the absolute paths, what are the relative paths. So for example, absolute paths are nothing but we will be giving the total path. So for example, uh, I am giving this path like exercises. So so E drive, and I am giving the folder name, everything here. So this is like absolute path. We are getting all the absolute path. A relative path is nothing but we can give dot notations. So what it will do, it will actually go to, if we give two dots, it will go back one folder back, whatever the current execution folder. So we have to remember. So for example, this is here exercises. We are running the code from. So now when we are giving this dot dot notation, what it will internally do. So I'm so in Windows it won't, it's not happening, but in Python it will happen. Like what dot dot notation means, it will go to this folder, like before accesses whatever the folder is there, and then it will change to the this folder data images if it is exists. So generally, these concepts will be very useful when we are creating some kind of structures, or when we are doing some automations. So we need to create an absolute paths for getting all the correct data. So we will be using that. For relative paths is like instead of writing total thing, if the execution is happening from the same folder, then just we need to give dot notations and which folder and which file to pick up, we will be seeing. So generally we have different modules for handling paths in Python. So it's like when we do os.join, os.exits, os. So different paths. So already we have used this os module before in a few examples what we have done already. So whether we want to check it is a file or directory, it is if you want to combine two files or create a new folder, and if you want to check if this folder exists, os.path exists, we can use different methods using this os module. Similarly, we have another latest module like pathlib module, which is actually came into existence with 3.4 Python version. So it is again a similar kind of uh, uh, I mean to say similar kind of functionalities as like OS module, but it has different IO capabilities, and it can be used across different across platform. So and it is written in pure like I mean to say pure Python. So it's like so there different similar. So it's a comparison like os.path.join. The similar kind of this thing is available in join path. So this method. So similarly. what is the parent? Parent in the sense the root directory where. So if you are running from E drive, so it will return the E drive. So if you are running from C drive, it will return the C drive. Like extension suffix is like if it is a .txt file or whatever the last uh, path what you have given, it will return that. So make directory make. So there are multiple functions available in for pathlib also. So again, directories are nothing but again the folders what we are referring. So there are multiple ways to create directories or to check whether the directories exist or not. So for example, os.make directory it will create only that directory which is already. So if you want to create only, for example, yeah, I want to create some directory here results. So I just give os dot make directory and I will give this. But if you want to create multiple directories like results and in results what are the different for example there are four scores of different uh, names maybe then you want to create for each name one folder then this kind of recursive directory creation will be using with this os.make directories method. So it's like we can create recursive directories using this method. So for example, if you doing like os.make directory, new directory, it will create new directory in the current location. But if you want to create in data and then processed and the year, so it will create all the three directories inside. For first it will create data and then it will create processed and then it will create 2023 directory. So it's like a list of directories. So in the directory, what are the files and directories? So this is the method to check. Uh, so let me go. Just if I so I'm just opening the Python console here directly. So if I'm just import OS. So I start make dir new test. I'm giving this. So if I go to my location where this exercises is there, it will create. So if you see the timestamp, it is 8:27. It will create a new test. So it already created. Similarly, if I using the same thing, sorry, I will. So it has done. Just I copy pasted it. So now if I again go back, so data processed 2020, and if I just check print test. So it's just I haven't given any path here, so it will take the current working directory and it will return all the what are the files available, what are the folders available, all that into a list. So now just going back, so we'll be providing one project zip file. So once you unlock it, so what we need to do is create a letter using starting letter.txt. So uh, we have to read from individual names. So it's like just I will explain normally. So so for example here this is there will be input and then we have letters. So starting letter dot txt and we have names. So we have for example names. We have to create the starting we have the letter, right? We have to create the similar kind of ang.txt and juco.txt, appa.txt, something like that, using this letter format. So edit. So here the name should be replaced with the uh, whatever the name we are reading from the names.txt. So yeah. So for example, just I am renaming with Sai. So just again the output, and we have to do it in the example.txt. So here the output should be come like this, like the first it will should replace this with this thing. So you are inverted. So it's like we need to read the contents from the files like starting letter.txt and the invited names.txt, and from the invited name.txt we have to replace the inside content name with the name what we have read from the invited.txt, and we have to create another txt files inside this folder, ready to send folder, with each letter having this if we are creating juco dot then inside this folder there should be juco.txt file should be there. So it's like we have a placeholder name, so we have to replace it with the actual name in the starting letter.txt. So it's like what I have written. So it's like just we are just if I take one by one, just I'm a placeholder they have given. So placeholder, like we are taking the string name as placeholder. Now what I'm doing, just I know read lines, so I want to store all the names in a list. So what I am doing, I am reading, just I am opening this file. So I have given, if you see, I have given the total path, the absolute path where I have kept all this names.txt files and name file, and then I am reading the lines. So what it will do, the readLite functions, it creates a list with all the names in the names variable. So the names variable will be a list because readLines function will create all the lines in a list. So again, just I'm going back. So when I go back to input names, like names, so every name it's like in a new line, so it's like for every line it will store it in a list. So the first what I did, I just stored everything in a list, and then again I'm opening the same. So I haven't given any mode, so by default it will open in read mode. So now read. So this read mode, what it will do, it will read all the data. So my all the letter data into one string. So I have read all the letter data into one string using this variable letter content. So done. So now just I am looping over whatever I have got from the names. So I am looping over the names list, and stripped name is like this method you can refer what exactly it will do. It will just remove spaces if there like if for example there is space sai space, so it will remove this tailing and ending spaces, and it will give us only this name where it is like sai. So that's why for example if we are taking uh, like reading if any spaces are added, so we will be removing with this name. And then what we are doing, we are using replace method. Just what we are doing, we are doing replace. So we are doing this total entire string with square brackets with the name. And then we are again here I have used if you carefully observe, I have used a dot notation, and then it's like output ready to send letter for txt, and the mode I have we have mentioned as write mode. Yes, completed letter and completed dot write. We are writing everything, right? So it's a very simple kind of stuff. Just so, and again to remember is like this mode when we are executing, we should be there at where this file is there. So for example, I have, so if I execute this as of now, this will file. So just I have copied. So I am just getting out of Python shell, and then Python. So now if I run, I have at exercises folder, but my code is at this mail.merge complete. So if I run it, because it is unable to search where this folder is, because it is searching in the exercises output already, but this folders are there inside this match dot completed. So if I give we can give directly this, or we need to execute from where this our current working directory where our code is there. So then I just now I went. Now if I run this, so just I am showing again just file dot match input. There is no files here. So input letter. So just I'm checking. Okay. So now dear name. So this is the string value what we are using as placeholder. Ready to send. Now if I run it, so like C Python. Now we have at the location where the project completed. The location is there, and the our main.py file is there. So now it got executed. So just we will see before there is no files. Now if you see it has created a timestamp 88 2038. So similarly if I open, so now it is replaced with the name variable with the name what we have from get it from the names invited names.txt. Yeah. So yeah, we are using this f string to replace this names to print output file with the name whatever name we want to send. It's a letter for with this name to txt and write mode. And just we are writing all the contents instead of writing lines, we are just writing all the content. Yeah. So these are hints where you can try to check how we will be doing, like read lines, what read lines will we do, what string replace, what is the string strip. So it's like, so here we have spaces at beginning and ending of the string. So when we do that, it will actually remove. So it's like, so if I don't, just if I, so it's like multiple spaces are coming. But if I give strip method, I think that's it for today. So I'll be sharing this starting file. You can just try to write on your own. It's a very simple project, but yeah, that's it for today. Stop recording.